Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Yellowstone tour van crash. 7 dead as tourists burned beyond recognition. Idaho police said a tour van collision near Yellowstone National Park saw 2 vehicles involved catch on fire, with at least 7 people killed as they exploded into flames. 7 people have died and 8 have been injured following a dramatic bus crash at a major wildlife reserve, which saw the vehicle engulfed in flames. The collision between a tour van and second vehicle caused a raging fire on a road just outside the Yellowstone National Park in Idaho. The tour van and a Dodge Ram pickup collided on Thursday evening, Idaho police said. The accident took place at around 7:15 p.m. on a highway near Henry's Lake State Park, roughly 16 miles to the west of the world-famous national park. Among the dead were the driver of the pickup truck, it has been reported, and 6 of the 14 people inside the tour van at the time. Idaho State Police have identified 1 person who died in the accident, with the bodies of several crash victims left charred and unidentifiable. Fremont County Coroner Brenda Dye identified the driver of the pickup as 25-year-old Isaiah Marino from Texas, adding she was still waiting for the results of DNA testing to identify the remaining 6 people. Their bodies were reportedly burned beyond recognition, although the coroner said they were all from outside the U.S. and had been participating in a Yellowstone tour. 2 were from Italy, she said in an interview, while adding it is unclear from where the remaining 4 had hailed. Representatives for the police service said in a statement that they were still trying to contact members of the family of people who were killed and injured. The authorities are also yet to provide a cause of the accident, with an investigation into the incident currently ongoing. Air ambulances and emergency paramedics had rushed to the scene, with dramatic pictures showing the charred wreckage of the vehicles smoking after the crash. One bystander, 60-year-old Roger Merrill, who was driving home when he came across the shocking scene, told the Associated Press he saw the 2 vehicles become engulfed in flames and attempted to care for survivors. He said, "It is a very dangerous highway because it leads to the main entrance of Yellowstone National Park. It's extremely busy." Mr. Merrill added that he often saw tourist vans on the highway leading up to the national park, and that its remote location had left him concerned about emergency response times to incidents. Yellowstone National Park. A serene morning in Yellowstone turned tragic Tuesday when a tour van carrying international and domestic tourists veered off a winding section of Grand Loop Road, crashed into a dense grove of lodgepole pines, and erupted into flames. The catastrophic accident left 7 people dead, several others hospitalized, and one of the nation's most iconic landscapes stained with sorrow. Witnesses described a scene of horror. The van, traveling south toward Old Faithful, suddenly swerved, flipped onto its side, and slammed into the trees before igniting in a towering blaze that sent plumes of black smoke into the pristine blue sky. Park rangers and bystanders scrambled to the wreck, but the fire overtook the vehicle with terrifying speed. "It was like something from a nightmare," said Allison Herrera, a visitor from New Mexico who was hiking nearby and arrived on the scene moments after the crash. "There was screaming, metal groaning, and then just flames. I'll never forget the heat." The crash and immediate aftermath. Initial reports from the National Park Service indicate the van was operated by Big Sky Touring Co., a private tour company based in Bozeman, Montana. The vehicle was carrying 13 passengers plus the driver, people from as far as South Korea, Germany, and California, on a multi-day excursion across Yellowstone's geothermal wonders. Officials believe the crash occurred around 10:14 a.m., near a notorious curve known to locals and rangers as Bear's Elbow, a narrow bend just 5 miles south of Norris Geyser Basin. The van appears to have lost traction, possibly due to a patch of residual morning ice in a shaded section of the road. Speed does not appear to be a factor, but road conditions and vehicle maintenance are part of the ongoing investigation, said Chief Ranger Melanie Ross during a somber press briefing. What we can confirm is that 7 individuals perished at the scene, and 5 others have been transported to area hospitals, 2 in critical condition. Among the deceased are 2 teenagers, a mother and son from Frankfurt, a retired couple from Colorado Springs, and the van's driver, who authorities say was an experienced guide, and crashes in national parks are sadly not uncommon. The rapid eruption of fire in this case has raised additional concerns. Fire inspectors and park rangers are collaborating with the NTSB to determine whether a mechanical failure contributed to the blaze. It's rare for a crash of this type to result in such immediate combustion, said Dr. Alishan Como, a fire behavior specialist called in from Yellowstone's fire science team. We're looking into whether there was a propane tank aboard, which some tour vans use for cooking or heating, or if fuel lines were compromised on impact. Photos from the scene show a mangled, scorched wreck, barely recognizable as a van, its white paint blackened and blistered, windows melted, and tires fused to the earth. Charred remnants of backpacks, a child's stuffed animal, and melted hiking boots were visible beneath a scorched pine canopy. Park community in mourning. The tragedy has shaken Yellowstone's tight-knit seasonal and ranger community, many of whom knew the driver personally. Jared wasn't just a guide. He was a protector, a storyteller, someone who made people fall in love with this place, said fellow guide Emily Tran, who last saw him 2 days earlier sharing a meal at the Mammoth Dining Hall. He died doing what he loved, but it shouldn't have happened like this. An impromptu memorial of wildflowers, ranger hats, and handwritten notes began forming near the crash site within hours. Visitors passing through the area paused to pay respects, many visibly emotional. The Park Service has temporarily closed the section of road where the crash occurred and announced a full safety audit of commercial tour operators within the park. This was preventable, one grieving ranger whispered. We just don't yet know how. Tourism under scrutiny. Yellowstone draws more than 4 million visitors each year, many of whom rely on guided tours to navigate the park's vast, often treacherous terrain. The crash has renewed debate over safety standards for commercial vehicles in national parks, particularly older vans retrofitted for wilderness use. Tour companies make good money off these trips, but how many are actually investing in regular maintenance or training their drivers for the park's unpredictable conditions? Asked park advocate June Cole, founder of Watchful Wilds, a nonprofit focused on park safety. This is not Disneyland. It's a wild place. The Department of the Interior released a statement expressing condolences to the victims' families and promising a thorough and transparent investigation. President Whitmore called the crash a heartbreaking reminder of the need for constant vigilance, even in places of peace and beauty. Families face an agonizing wait. For the families of the victims, news of the crash spread through consulates, social media, and harrowing phone calls. The South Korean Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed 2 of its citizens were aboard the van. One died, the other is in critical condition. In Germany, an extended family held vigil overnight outside Frankfurt International Airport, hoping for word of survivors. In California, a woman sobbed outside her home in Oakland after learning her teenage niece was among the dead. Yellowstone officials are working closely with foreign embassies to identify remains and facilitate the repatriation of bodies. DNA testing may be required in some cases due to the severity of the burns. Moving forward, as Yellowstone's geysers continue to erupt and bison roam the plains, the shadow of this tragedy hangs heavy over the park's spring season. A formal memorial service is being planned by the Park Service, with grief counselors and clergy on site to support both visitors and staff. Meanwhile, survivors are being treated at hospitals in Bozeman and Cody, with doctors cautiously optimistic about their recovery. One man, a 67-year-old Canadian photographer, reportedly escaped the van through a broken window moments before it was consumed by flames. He remains in stable condition, though badly burned. "I saw faces I'll never forget," he told a nurse, according to hospital staff, "and I hope no one else ever has to." The crash has left a scar on Yellowstone's soul, a chilling reminder that even in a sanctuary of beauty and peace, tragedy can strike in a flash of fire.